In the sunburnt colony of New South Wales, where cattle roamed untamed and convicts carved a society from rock and riverbank, a man arrived who would forever reshape Australia's destiny. His name, Lachlan Macquarie, governor, reformer, and, in many ways, the father of modern Australia. But his legacy isn't just stone buildings or social reform. It also involves a rather curious act of economic wizardry. In 1813, faced with a crippling shortage of money, Macquarie punched a hole through the center of Spanish coins and birthed the holy dollar, one of the most unique currencies in the world. Lachlan Macquarie arrived in New South Wales in December 1809 to take up his role as governor. He replaced William Bligh of Mutiny on the Bounty fame, whose tumultuous rule had ended in the infamous Rum Rebellion. The colony was in chaos, corruption ran rampant, public infrastructure was dilapidated, and the social hierarchy heavily favoured the military elite over emancipated convicts and settlers. Macquarie, born on the Isle of Ulva, Scotland in 1762, was a career military officer who had served in India and Egypt. But he was not just a soldier, he was a builder, a visionary administrator, and a man of strong moral character. He arrived in New South Wales determined to bring order, fairness and prosperity to what many saw as little more than a dumping ground for Britain's unwanted. By 1813, just 3 years into his term, Macquarie faced an enormous challenge. The colony had grown rapidly in population and commerce was flourishing. But one thing was missing: cash. New South Wales suffered from a chronic shortage of official coinage. The colony functioned largely through barter. Rum, wheat, and even nails were used as currency. The British government had made little effort to supply money to the penal colony, fearing it would encourage free trade or even independence. Smuggled and foreign coins, especially the widely circulated Spanish silver dollar, became unofficial mediums of exchange. But, as these coins were easily removed from circulation by visiting merchants or ships, the colony's liquidity constantly vanished. It was an economic chokehold, and Macquarie was determined to fix it. In 1812, Macquarie proposed an ingenious solution. He arranged to purchase 40,000 Spanish silver dollars, pieces of 8, from a shipment seized by the British East India Company during the capture of Manila. These coins were among the most trusted and widespread global currencies of the day. But instead of simply releasing the dollars into the colony's economy, where they could be easily hoarded or exported, Macquarie had other plans. Enter William Henschel, a convict and skilled forger who had been transported to Australia for his crimes. Macquarie saw potential in Henschel's talents and granted him a conditional pardon, tasking him with the radical job of defacing the Spanish dollars. Henschel began the process of punching out the center of each coin, creating 2 pieces. The outer ring, stamped New South Wales 1813, became the holy dollar, worth 5 shillings. The inner disc became the dump, valued at 15 pence. This move did 3 brilliant things. It immediately increased the number of coins in circulation. It made the coins practically useless outside the colony, preventing them from being taken away, and it created for the first time a uniquely Australian currency, an early move toward economic independence. Macquarie's creativity wasn't limited to the economy. He envisioned a society where emancipated convicts, known as emancipists, could build lives as free men and women. This vision brought him into frequent conflict with the conservative exclusives, wealthy landowners and military officers who wanted to maintain a strict hierarchy. One of the most notable individuals impacted by Macquarie's belief in second chances was Francis Greenway. Greenway had been an architect in England before being convicted of forgery. In 1814, Macquarie appointed him colonial architect, a move that stunned Sydney's elite. Under Greenway's direction, Sydney saw a boom in public infrastructure: St James's Church, Hyde Park Barracks, and the Macquarie Lighthouse, to name a few. Macquarie's confidence in Greenway not only resurrected the man's dignity, but helped lay the physical foundation of modern Sydney. When critics questioned the wisdom of placing a former forger in charge of major public works, Macquarie responded, "His past is of no concern to me. What matters is what he builds now." It was a revolutionary sentiment in a society built on punishment. Macquarie saw New South Wales not as a prison but as a budding nation. He commissioned roads, bridges, hospitals, schools and churches. Under his watch, the colony's first bank, the Bank of New South Wales, was founded in 1817. He promoted agriculture, trade and exploration, sending expeditions west over the Blue Mountains, leading to the opening of the vast interior. But not all welcomed his reformist ideals. The exclusives lobbied against him in London, accusing him of mismanagement, extravagance and moral laxity for elevating convicts. In 1819, the British government sent Commissioner John Thomas Bigg to review Macquarie's administration. Bigg's report was damning. He criticised Macquarie for spending too freely on public works, favouring emancipists, and undermining the authority of the landed elite. The report signalled the end of Macquarie's governorship. Macquarie tendered his resignation in 1821 and returned to Britain in 1822, heartbroken but proud. He died in 1824, never fully vindicated in his lifetime. The holy dollar and dump remained in circulation until 1829, when sterling currency finally flooded the colony. But their impact was profound. Macquarie's use of local ingenuity to create a secure, functioning economy from foreign coins was a masterstroke. It encouraged economic growth, helped stabilise commerce, and gave New South Wales its first financial identity. Only a few holy dollars and dumps remain today, around 300 examples between both forms. They are some of the rarest and most valuable coins in Australian history. One holy dollar fetched over $500,000 at auction. But more valuable still is the legacy Macquarie left in human terms. Francis Greenway, the architect he redeemed, would go on to shape the very face of Sydney. His buildings remain standing to this day, a testament to Macquarie's belief in forgiveness and potential. Greenway later wrote, "But for Governor Macquarie, I would be forgotten in the gutter. He made me a man again." Today, Lachlan Macquarie is remembered as one of the greatest governors in Australian history. His name graces towns, rivers, lakes and streets across the country: Macquarie University, the Macquarie River, Lake Macquarie, and the Sydney suburb of Macquarie Park. Historians often debate whether Macquarie was the real founder of Australia. He wasn't the first governor, but he was the first to truly envision the colony as a society, not a sentence. His legacy, etched in stone, in coin, and in the lives he changed, endures as a blueprint for what Australia would become. A nation born from hardship, defined by resilience, and shaped by those willing to punch holes in the status quo. In the face of adversity, Macquarie didn't wait for England to send solutions, he minted his own. We are a growing channel and appreciate your support. Remember to like, comment, subscribe and share this video so we can keep making more content and continue to improve our quality. We at the Capital Curiosity team thank you for your support and can't wait to bring you even better content in the future.